This session is something, it's talking about why we are having this something like training or awareness about innovative agriculture extension approaches by agri startups. I will little introduction I will give, and we will this training, unlike other training program, we may not be dealing with the resource persons. Here, those who are coming and going to talk, all are agri startups, those who are working with farmers and those who are working with other stakeholders. They are coming and they are going to talk about how they are really supporting farming in different ways. There may be technology transfer, or there may be something like value chain management, or something like processing or value addition or branding or marketing, like that. Everybody will talk different, including agriculture and allied sector also, and fisheries and livestock sector startups also. They are going to come and talk, and that's why, and all the officers and kindly understand, they are not the resource person, not the faculty or scientists from the, generally most of the training we get the people from the some of the resource persons from the institutions, or they are working with a different research organization. But this training program something different. They are all are startup initiators. That's why whenever you put some questions, other things, kindly see that you are putting very relevant question to that particular startups. And after 11 o'clock onwards, they are startups and going to come and talk about their own experience. And maybe many of the senior officers are here, ADAs and others are the scientists and researchers are there. You might be having different experience, even better experience. But many of our startups, they will come and very specific to their own experience with how they are doing startup, how they are supporting farmers, like that. Kindly keep in that mind. And for understanding their models, it is better to put the questions instead of asking about some technologies or more. It is not really needed. With this introduction, I will start a little more about why this training program. And as you know, farming always in India, it is one of the important profession. At the same time, it is many time at crossroads. And always there is, every year we'll see something crisis in agriculture. Even last few years, or all the time, even though agriculture, even during this COVID times, doing good, but still many parts of the country, it is not uniform agriculture because of climate, other condition and market. Last few years we see, it is not the technology. Market determines the something, the prosperity of agriculture or farmers. That's why farming always, it is something, it is a very difficult profession in India, and large number of small and marginal farmers. Another important issue, everybody you are aware, 86% of them are small and marginal farmers. That makes our job become very difficult for agriculture research officers, researchers, or the extension professionals to reach this large number of small and marginal farmers, and to be more relevant to them, whatever we advocate, whatever schemes or whatever research outputs are coming, it's very difficult to reach them. 86% of them marginal and small farmers. And but at the same time, half of the India's population, still it is depending upon agriculture. It is, even though the GDP is coming down, but continuously agriculture is engaging more and more population. And at the same time, we see another area, wherever there is a market gluts, and we are used to see. These are all the common features in India. It's a crisis all the time. Whenever there is no rainfall, we'll tell there is no crop, and wherever there is more crop, and we will see in the something roads, people are throwing in whether onion or milk, or it is tomato. It is very often we see in the newspapers or papers. These are that means we are unable to give better support services to the farmers for putting post-harvest technologies, other things. This is a common. Every extension officers will be knowing. There is a country like India, we have great diversity. And another important thing is agriculture, even though it is very important for the large number of households, but the average income is only, it is almost it is equal to 9,000 rupees. It is 26 states. There is a survey from NABARD. It says it is 8,900 rupees the average income of the farm households, putting all the farmers together. Again, it's a very interesting. This is very with the 9,000 rupees, farmer need to take care of everything, farm household, everything, their education. This one, even many cities and many places, if you see, the watchman will be getting the more salary than this one. That's why this is a very low income farmers, and that's why Government of India and others talk about doubling the farmers' income or increasing the. It is not only farm productivity. Today we'll talk about increasing the farm income, and apart from that, there are large number of productivity challenges. Apart from post-harvest and marketing challenges, we also have a lot of productivity challenges. And that's why today is not only technology or it is a knowledge advisory. Along with that, other support services, something like processing or value addition or branding or putting the smart technology to the farming so that labor shortage, others will be minimized like that. We need to have the, not only along with agriculture extension, agriculture research and extension, we need to have the large number of other support services. And but majority of the research finding, other things says even agriculture extension not able to reach, organized agriculture extension not able to reach more than 10% of the farmers. And even though we are having great network of Krishi Vigyan Kendras and large number of agriculture developmental departments are working, Atma like central sector schemes we are working for the agriculture extension. But always survey shows that it is very hardly, it's 10 to 15% of the farmers are reached by the actual, there is a main public extension system. And in this context, there are large number of private players are coming, and NGOs are last almost 2 decades, NGOs others. And now recent addition is large number of entrepreneurs, and or we call it as agripreneurs or agri startups are making a lot of news in across the country. There are coming large number of way to support in these areas, knowledge and support services in the agriculture. That is the today's and the whole coming 3 days, how they are going to supporting, how they are working with the farmers, we are going to see. And that's why whole agriculture extension, what generally we talk about, it's a technology transfer, but it is entirely, it is now it is changing. It is not the technology transfer, it is creating something like capacity of the farmers. We need to strengthen the capacity of farmers. Generally, information technologies all, even today, extension means it is a technology transfer, but it is not alone. It is not only technology transfer or information or knowledge dissemination. It need to go little more, and it is something strengthening the capacity of the farmers along with create the better skills and capacity to innovate. Farmers need to innovate. Other somebody, innovators need to join with the farmers if farmer is not innovating. And there are these all things we can do from training or improved management or organizational techniques. And other one is linkages with the large number of producer organization or NGOs or public private sector, something like agri startups or agripreneurs or private agribusiness companies, how we can link these actors with the farming. That is a very important agriculture role. That's why today's agricultural extension, those who are working in the agriculture developmental department, it is not necessarily to talk about the technologies to the farmers. During 1970s, 60s, 70s, 80s, we are talking about only technologies. But today, maybe public extension, not only talking about agricultural technology transfer, technologies to the farmers are central state government schemes. They also need to talk about something like how we can link the producer organizations or NGOs or other players, those who are private players like agribusiness companies or agri startups, how we can link with the farmers or farmer producer organizations. That is the important thing. And even our doubling farmers income committee defines entirely agriculture. It is not beyond information or knowledge dissemination. They will take about little more about, they're talking about agriculture supply chain. The agriculture extension need to concentrate on agricultural supply chain. And it is not only for earlier, we are emphasizing more on production oriented, and today we are talking about how the net income from the enterprise farmers, it is not the farming anymore traditional, it is how we can make us an enterprise and how we can increase the income like that we are talking. That is the extension. That's why it is today's extension is not merely technology transfer or talking about the schemes of the state or central governments are much more beyond, talking about entire supply chain and also making the farming as an enterprise, so that farmer can get the better income. That may not possible from only 1 or 2 institutions or public sector institutions. That's why we need to link with a large number of other stakeholders like farmer producer organizations are those who are providing credit and those type of things. That's why agriculture extension, it is no more relevant today if you talk only technology transfer. I am sure already there are many of the agriculture development officers, those who are attending this training, I'm sure they are doing much more work. Somebody mobilizing the farmers, they are making the groups, self-help groups or farmers producer organization, trying to link that producer organization with the different other actors like market or it is a finance or technology or research institutions like that. Already they might be doing it. And that's why today the agriculture extension is something much beyond the technology transfer. I will stop here and I will take few questions from few clarifications from participants, then I will move forward. I will break for the 5 minutes. Now, today most of you are in the field condition. What are the roles apart from technology transfer? What are the roles you expect? What are the roles you are doing? Which are the roles are important you see for the agriculture extension? Quickly, you can put in your opinion in the chat box. We will take on 2 or 3 minutes. And I am talking about, so far just 10 minutes I'm talking. I'm telling agriculture extension is not no more, it is technology transfer alone. It is something much more, and we need to do little more. And based on your experience, what are the roles you feel that is important for extension? You can chat box, you can go, you can type it. You can see bottom right hand side chart, you can click and you can type there quickly. Kindly participate. It is online trainings are little, it is continuously talking and without much interaction. That's why better to interact a little more and you start typing it. And it also has the points in your certification. Kindly participate. Now I'm asking, what today's context, what are the roles you are seeing for the agriculture extension? Okay, very good. Somebody, Dr. Suveda is written, major role is change the farmer's attitude. And okay, Manasa is create the awareness about organic farming, also agriculture extension, very good. Next. It's more of experience sharing, successful case of farmer to role model. It is not only from research institutions, maybe some of the farmers are very progressive. We need to take those progressive or those farmers models to other farmers, very good. It's a capacity building. Always there is a capacity building of farmers. That was I told. It's a capacity building of the farmer to innovate themselves. We need to have farmers we need to do the capacity building. Fine. Create the farm awareness about farm business. It is Dr. Suryendra. It is thank you. And Chaitra is improve the standard of living of farmers, need-based approach. Overall, we need to improve the standard of living. That means we need to see the holistic as a farm family, as a extension organizations. Fine. Any others? You are 100 plus participants. Quickly, you go for it. Giving the better market intelligence or market forecasting for the increasing the farm income, fine. More awareness on marketing and also processing, fine. Jalia and Marak. Awareness about crop plan and fine. Try to be very specific some more and changing the mindset of the farmers. Any others? More on learning by doing approach. We guide that. Indicate entrepreneurial behavior among the farmers. Understanding indigenous technical knowledge is important. Fine. Any others? Financial security and market linkages. Okay. It is main role of extension is farmer should not work as a only farmer. He need to think like a businessman. Very good. And such as investing, how much they are getting. Okay. What is investing and what is getting, that is important. Dr. Puspa is written identifying the innovative farmers and showing them as a model farmers. Thank you, madam. Any others? Market extension, market-led extension is important, and we need to give the confidence to the farmers to diversify the crops and cropping pattern and doubling the farmer's income, maybe adding the livestock and farming system, maybe improves the soil health, other things. We need to do those things. Any other thing? Anybody? Any others? Yuvraj, can you put the poll? Kaushik, some poll you are putting?
The poll is not enabled, sir.
Okay. Marketing is also a major problem. Any more things, ma'am?
Sir, we've required, you can put a quick poll in a Google form, sir. We can see the results also. Give us 5 minutes for doing that.
Okay, you can carry on. You put it, I'll come back to you. Okay, that's what.
Okay,
you
thank
also
you,
agree with. You also agree with that agriculture extension, not it is only technology transfer, much more than it is having something like value addition processing or marketing, and that is more important. And still some more are coming, and we will combine a little more. And that's why it is. That's why today, if you see, large number of agri startups are coming. And anyway, you are attending this training. There is one document available in Manage website. We may not be able to go for what is agri startup or basic things, and you can go for this document, Agri Startups, the Ray of Hope in Indian Agriculture. Here we will give all the basic details about what is agri startup, who are the people are in India. They are talking about agri startups like that. And somebody interested, you can see the bottom link. And Kaushik, we can put this link also in the chat box. Somebody interested, you can download. We also,
Okay,
after
sir.
training program, we also share this all the documents related to agri startups. We will share with you email after 3 days of training. We will put all the resources, whatever we are talking or whatever we are telling, we will share with you also. And you can go through, some of you interested this one. And that's why today, if you see, many of you also clearly told agriculture, it should move towards something like business. And that's why today, if you see across the country, last 10 years, there is an entrepreneurship and agri startup ecosystem is emerging. There is new set of players are coming. During 90s and during 90s or 2000, we didn't see large number of startups in agriculture. Agribusiness they are doing, most of them are traditionally they are doing. But today there are large number of innovative ideas they are coming, they are doing in agriculture. And many of you might be aware about agri startups, and some of you might be working with agri startups, or you might be read in the newspapers, or you might be studying in the or viewing in videos or TV, something like that. Today, many people talk about agri startups, especially startups in the all the sectors and also including in agriculture. There are large number of things. Today, that's why these startups are promoted by large number of agriculture universities, research institutions, and there are a lot of co-working places. There are incubation centers, innovation incubation centers. Like that, there are large number of institutions, national institutions and others, even private players, or they are started. Even many of them, there are new set of people for funding these type of startups, like angel investors, startup mentors, startup advisor, like that. There are large number of people. And there are new set of people are emerging to promote this type of startups, including agriculture startups. If globally, if you see large number of startups, they are moving in the financial technology, how to facilitate the money to others based on the technology. Financial fintech startups are going the big way. How to give the, no, even agriculture, if you see the lending money, getting the credit support for the farming is very important. Traditionally, farmers are getting the money lenders, and very few of them they will get from the bank loans and others, but majority go for the money lenders, others. These type of startups, even agriculture, much more useful. And also, apart from financial technology related startups, there are life sciences, healthcare, artificial intelligence and like that blockchain based, like that large number of startups are coming in globally. And also if you see entire startups, it is the large number of startups are something like marketplace or health technology, education technology like that is coming. And many of these startups are using something data analytics, big data or Internet of Things or artificial intelligence or blockchain like that advanced technology they are using. When these technology, if they are taking to agriculture, there may be much more useful, and agriculture become more and more smarter. It may help large number of extension officers or farmers. There is belief in that, and large number of startups are coming. Even if you see across the country, large number of cities and others, they started innovation incubation centers. It is emerging in the big way across the country. All even there are small cities also they are trying to host. There are efforts for the rural incubation centers also it is coming. And large number of other government schemes also it is happening. Something like Startup India scheme and Adult Incubation Mission. There is a DST, DBT, Department of Biotechnology, Department of Science and Technology. All they are making large number of support for these type of startups, including Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, RKV Raptar program also. And if India alone, if you see today, we have 1,000 plus agri startups. Up to 2020, we had only 450 agri startups in India, but today we are having 1,000 plus agri startups in India. And these all startups are trying to work with large number of other farm stakeholders, including the research or extension or farmers like that. All the stakeholders, they're trying to participate. And I will stop here and quickly I will get, can you, Yuvaraju or Kaushik, can you get quick poll? How many of you are aware about agri startup? How many of them having the experience with agri startups? Can you put quick poll?
Yes, sir. Creating, sir.
Some of you, if you are already working with agri startups, any very specific agri startup working with the farmers or any other related farming issues, and you can put it your name, because I see the participants from across the country. There are different states, majority of them working with the farmers. There are offices from agriculture and allied departments. And if some of you know very well associated or you are aware about some startups, and you can quickly put in the chat box. Just name and how you are associated quickly, very brief, you can put it. Some of you can put it quickly. Thank you for a lot of information, those who are putting in the first discussion. There are, what is the role of agriculture extension? Somebody emphasized risk mitigation, farming or ICT tools also. Now, I request for some of you working with startups or you are aware about startups, kindly you can put that information in the chat box.
Sir, I've created a poll, sir. The text, the link is also given in the chat box.
There is, you can click in chat box, there is a poll link like that. Poll link you can see, and kindly click that and kindly you put on that one. You can answer for that question. Kindly click this poll link and kindly answer for this. It goes to external site and kindly put just a simple question. Do you have prior experience working with the startups? Very simple question. Just you need to put yes or no. Once you are clicking, it goes outside and just you can put yes or no like that.
So we got the results, sir.
Just wait 2 minutes, no? Let them go for
Sure,
it,
sir.
no? Another 1 minute or 2 minutes you can wait so that you can click this poll link and just simple question, and you can answer. It asks about whether you have any experience with working with startups like that. Just you need to click yes or no. It is no matters yes or no. No, kindly not in the chat box. Kindly click the poll link. It goes to next page. It open website, no, it will open. If you are all are internet enabled, no, it will open in the next separately, and there you can put. Kindly no need to put in chat box. Kindly click the poll link. That link you click, it will go to there and you can put it. Are you getting? better kindly try to use these small tools, because we are forced to use all online tools in coming days also. That's why we are trying to use very minimum possible tools only. Kindly click the poll link and you can go there, you can kindly answer there. How many of them fold Kaushik? Kaushik, you are mute.
I'm sharing the screen, sir.
Oh, only 30 of them you are able to poll.
45, sir.
45. Some
46.
you are 150 of them. Some more can you put quickly? Kindly try, all you can try. Better to start learning and using the online tools. Slowly we'll make it, our trainings are more interactive. That's why we are trying to use very basic minimum some of the interactions we will use. Maybe tomorrow and day after tomorrow also you expect similar polls and other things also in online. Even we will try to use for some more other collaborative methodologies. There is a breakout sessions also we can try if you are really interested to use, because online also we can make trainings become more interactive and we can get out of 111 only 48. Even other team members you can also answer, so that the number will be counted properly. Alok and Yuvraj and those who are there also. Kindly try for this online poll. Only 50 we are reaching. Some more. And kindly I ask all the officers, those who are there, kindly try once. Actually, we know who is answering, who is not answering also. That's why it is not the answer matters, but whether you are participating or not, that matters. Kindly participate. Try to be interactive. That 54. Any others? Kindly try all. Kindly you try. It is not very difficult. No, link you can find in the chat box. We are giving poll link. You can see I'm putting it. The link, poll link in chat box. Somebody written, Dr. Ravindra Kala is written, no poll link like that. Polling link not opening. Kindly check, no? You are having network issues. Others, anyone, any others? Okay, fine. We are at least half of them are tried to attempt and they are making, and thank you very much. And it is 59, 60 of them, 60, it is half of them we done, and maybe some others are doing. And it is interesting that 70% of them don't have the experience working with startups. Thank you very much for this one. You can remove the screen. Yeah. Anyway, we'll show somebody putting later on also, we will show the screen once again. And Kaushik, can you enable share option? Kaushik, I'm not getting share option.
Enabled.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Yeah. So today we are having 1,000 plus agri startups, and it seems that more than almost only 1/3 of them are having experience, and 3/4 of them, 75% not having experience. Maybe this training and those who are startups may be very interesting for you. And I will talk about something. This entire training talks about agri startups or agri entrepreneurs, how really they are doing agriculture extension. And manage, we are doing last 2 decades this type of work. Many of you are aware AgriClinics Agribusiness Center scheme. Here agriculture graduates were trained it is earlier 60 days, now it is a 45 days training program. Across the country, large number of NGOs and nodal training institute, few agriculture universities, they are training our agriculture graduates. And so far we trained more than 72,000 of them. Out of them, there are 30,000 of them, they reported back that they established some model ventures. Here, they establish the model ventures and they will provide the agriculture consultancy and farm support services to the farmers. And it is any area, it may be something like agri advisory, AgriClinics, Agribusiness Centers. They will be having something bio input units or vermicompost or mushroom model unit. They make us a business enterprise extension with entrepreneurship. They also need to earn for their own livelihood, and also they will give the employment to others, and they work based on the opportunities existing in their own district or state. They used to do in different area. For example, animal feed unit or agro-tourism unit, or fishery veterinary clinics, or something like seed processing, marketing, or vegetable production, or fisheries development, or somebody maintaining rural godowns, or somebody on contract farming, somebody on the floriculture or horticulture, or somebody on landscaping. Like that, this variety of jobs they will take it up. But they are entrepreneurs, agripreneurs, and they will do agriculture extension along with, they also do the business with the farmers. That is the idea. And these type of large number of innovators, they innovate locally useful some machineries and other things they used to innovate, and they work with, they will make the business, and they do the agricultural extension using the bus, other things, even remote parts of the Jharkhand, or it is Andhra Pradesh, or wherever they are using large number of these type of innovative things. And similarly, they use the ICT tools. This type of large number of, some of them are innovative breeders. They come out with the new breeds, and they will do the business with developing those type of seeds like that. And some of them work with large number of animal husbandry. There are conservation and vaccination related to animal husbandry. They work all the services in the livestock sector. These are agripreneurs. This, like a large number of stories, there are 350 stories are available across the country. There are more than 30,000, maybe given only 350 stories, but large number of database, and those people, which are the areas doing it, is available. And they are successful doing in extension with enterprise. They are doing this type of large number of entrepreneurs are there. And these stories you can see. We are not going to talk about much about agripreneurs, how they are doing agricultural extension. Many of them even work with Jharkhand and other states, Maharashtra. They work with the public sector departments also. They used to give consultancy. Along with that, they will provide the job opportunities like this. This all entire information, publications, whatever I am showing, it is available in online. Some of you interested, you can go through. Very interesting models. It is not simply, it's agri-business models. These are models with the extension. They will do agriculture extension service. They are having the great scope to collaborate with the public extension departments. And apart from that, we also train the women and rural women, and they will develop the agri enterprises, whether it is a Mawal in Maharashtra, or UP in Amedi, or Telangana, like that. Along with the training, they also have some enterprises or units they will start. And apart from that, manage Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship. And here we'll promote large number of startups, and all the areas, anything it bothers agriculture, whether it's agri input or ICTs or warehouse management or post-harvest technology. In all the areas, we are having the startups. We support the startups, especially farmer service center, somebody are interested doing. There we'll give the special focus also. And we try to provide advisory and technical mentoring, capacity building, all the support services. And we run different type of programs, like something like anybody can enroll with us for getting the support. And there are all areas, agriculture, fisheries, and all the areas we'll support. And we also search for the innovations across the country. We'll be like Krishi Vikas, like that. We'll search innovation, and we'll try to mentor large number of agri startups. There are mentoring program also across the country. Anybody can join with us, so that we can put the correct mentors for the developing enterprises. Even internship, they can go with our own mentors. We have Impulse program, agribusiness mentoring program also. And apart from that, we run something like Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. Here across the country, there are 29 centers. This program, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare is running. And if you see, there are 5 knowledge partners. And Indian Council of Agriculture Research, Indian Agriculture Research Institute, IRI New Delhi, and Manage and NIAM, Rajasthan, US, Dharwad, and AU. These are 5 knowledge partners, and the Manage takes care of southern part of the country. And across the country, startups can apply, but we handhold there are 4 different other RKOI Raptar incubation centers. And there are 24 other centers apart from these 5 knowledge partners. There are another 24 centers across the country. At least every state there is one RKOI Raptar incubation centers. These all centers are running 2 programs, and one is for agripreneurship orientation program. Anybody having innovative idea to support the farming, and they can participate this program, and they can get up to 5 lakh grants to ground their ideas, and also they will get something 60 hours of classroom training and mentoring by the experts. This program is continuously running in the all 29 centers across the country. During 2 months training period, they also get 10,000 rupees stipend for their training program, and they also given internship with the other startups. Similarly, we run another program. There is the Startup Agribusiness Incubation Program. Here, anybody doing very innovative idea and it is supporting the farming and farmers, and they can go for the Startup Agribusiness Incubation Program. There, they will get something like 25 lakhs rupees for scaling up or doing better research or expanding their market. They will get the 25 lakhs. This is also across the country run by 29 centers. Even currently managed, there is advertisement is open. Any innovators. There is no criteria, only innovation is the criteria, even including rural youth, women, farmers, or any graduates from any institutions, anybody can apply. There is no criteria to apply only. They need to have the innovative idea for applying for 5 lakh category. For 25 lakh category, the Startup Agribusiness Incubation Program, they need to have working model. Already they are working in the farm, in the ground they are working, and they are making the business out of some innovative idea. To expand that idea, they can apply. Even today, it is the advertisement is open at Manage website. Some of farmers or any youth, anybody entrepreneurs, those who are having innovative idea already working, they can apply for this program. Or somebody, students, others are attending this program. Those who are having innovative idea, they can try for this 5 lakhs program. And these 2 programs across the country we are running. And through this program, there are large number of agri startups are coming. And these all startups, they try to support the farming. Something like artificial intelligence based detecting the pest, simple mouse click they can get, or somebody working on landscaping or translocating the plants in the scientific way, and somebody for social media like applications, somebody like Cultivate from Tamil Nadu. Entire traceability along with advisory, entire traceability it provides. Like that, there are all things, whether it is maintaining the database or providing the extension support, or it is supporting the field officers or supporting the input management or supply chain, like that. All the agricultural operations, they will help in this type of startup. There is a Cultivate startup from Tamil Nadu. Like that, there are large number of startups. There is another startup in, it is from Karnataka. They work with large number of farmer producer organizations, and they will try to provide the better support for the inputs and also marketing along with advisory. And like this, we are having large number of other organic input related and millet related startups. Here they work with millet farmers, and also they provide the all the processing other facilities also. This type of startups we are having. And other startups, there are some of the startups work, they used to apply advanced technologies for the irrigation management, so that they can put the correct irrigation to plants, they can schedule appropriately, and also they can these type of startups are helping to make the precision agriculture and resources, natural resources, whatever available, we can save and precisely we can use. Like there is a Kisan Raja like that. It is for Internet of Things. They are using for smart irrigation, automatic irrigation it makes. And whenever there is a power automatically on, automatically it will off, and there is a power fluctuation also, it takes care of this. There is a pump controller, other things also, and water also it is scheduled. It is irrigation will be scheduled based on the soil moisture and other atmospheric relative humidity, other things. It irrigates the plants depending upon the plant. It accurately it will irrigate so that water wastage will be stopped. These type of startups are coming big way. It is not only giving technology, advanced technology to the farming to minimize the wastage of the resources, and they can use better resources, and they can maintain the maintain the whatever the things they are using in the available resources like this. These type of startups are coming. And apart from that, there are some startups providing the critical input for rain-fed area. There is a water is a critical input. It is that's why extension, it is not something only technology, but taking the technology to the farmers and supporting all other things, including you can see the dryland area water. There is AgriRain, there is a startup. They provide the critical rain to the critical irrigation to the rain-fed crops, and these type of startups are coming in the big way. And during the critical stages, they can get the irrigation, and they are also creating the water entrepreneurs in the rural areas. This is also one of our RKV Raptar funded startup. Similarly, you can see regularly mushroom they are doing. Some of these type of startups, there is something like value added mushrooms and medicine related, and they are trying to add value, and they are trying to make it, and also they are trying to connect with large number of farmers. This type of Dr. mushrooms like that, there is a startup. And similarly, there is a mechanization, small farm gold mechanization like that. There is a sprayer, other thing, or hydroponic units. There is other startup, and these type of startups are coming so that farmers can use low-cost technologies for their operations. Farm operation become more and more efficient. For that, they are making these type of things. Apart from that, we also do in fisheries, and we develop large number of Aqua One centers across the country. They are trying to provide, along with input, other support, all the support services for the fisheries. There is Aqua One clinics, Aqua One centers like that across the country. There is 10 states we established 20 centers, and they also, anyway, one of the Aqua One centers going to talk how innovatively they are supporting fisheries farmers like that. They are coming and talking to, maybe tomorrow they will be talking about how they are supporting the fishery farmers for the development of fishery culture like that. These type of large number of managed hosting, there are 300 startups to support, along with agri advisory and also other support services they are providing. All the information available at our website, and some of you interested, you can know. There are 10, 12 of startups, they are going to come and talk, but they are only representative of the, our 300 startups. There are across the country, 1,000+ agri startups are working in this area. But we also having 300 startups we are managed hosting, and we are incubating. Out of that, very selected, because due to 3 days and time constraint, we are bringing only 10 to 12 startups, and they will share their experiences and how they are supporting the farming and also farmers, how they are making agriculture become more efficient, how they are making supply chains become more and more efficient. They will talk about that, and also some of them they will talk about something how they are making smart technologies work in agriculture. That also you can see. But these all startups are available. If you are anybody interested, you can go for our website caa.manage.gov. In there, if you are going startups, and you can find large number of startups like this. There are all the startups across the country. We are having startups almost in 25 states. And anybody, if you are interested, you can take the mouse here, and automatically it shows all these websites and their contact details, and you can reach them. Among these 300 agri startups, few of them, they are talking, they will come to you, and they are sharing their experiences from 11 o'clock onwards. And this already I said, this document also, it is useful, you can go for it. And with this, I will stop, and coming 10 minutes, I will take some questions. And because these startups are having great potential to partnership with large number of agriculture developmental departments, like all our Department of Agriculture, Horticulture, Fisheries, like that. That's why they need a lot of support, and we can easily partnership with these type of startups. It will provide the win-win situation. That's why we start up introducing this startup, because public extension alone may not be able to reach large number of farmers. And also we are unable to provide everything to the farmers, like something like processing, value addition and marketing. Become farmer is always, it's always as the constraint with resources. Large number of small and marginal farmers, they have a lot of resource constraint. And many times somebody also wrote, they need to work like a businessman. He need to know about everything, business, marketing, branding. But it is very difficult. Farmers are many times they are expert in doing their own farming, but doing all other things, it needs a lot of support, other organization support also. That's why these agri startups, agripreneurs may be better partners and to maximize the farm income. And that is a word of caution. And these agri startups should not really, they should not work as a middleman. Others earlier over the years, we are seeing only taking the profit, they are prospering big way. But they need to see as a partners for entire agriculture development. They need to support the farmers and farming, and they need to make the farming become more profitable. And those type of startups we can identify, we can encourage, and their government departments or the schemes and programs better to connect with these type of startups. We need to support them so that they can support the entire farming activities. And with this, I will stop, and you will be getting number of startups they will be discussing and how they are working, how they are making the agriculture become more and more prosperous. We can discuss, and only 3 days we may getting only 10 to 12 startups, but we have more than 1,000 plus startups. Some of the startups in India, they work with millions of farmers, like 500,000 farmers. Agrostar or DHeart, they are working almost close to more than 5 lakh farmers or 10 lakh farmers, like that. They are growing. It is not necessarily they need to work with large farmers. We need to see large number of small startups working in the limited area, and they are supporting the farmers, because our agriculture is everywhere. It's very diverse, and they can large number of thousands and thousands of startups we can promote. They can support the farmers with other support services, which is farmers unable to get, like financial support or processing, value addition, branding, somebody marketing or taking their produce, like that. They can do it. And these type of startups are coming in the big way, because across the country, large number of incubation centers or innovation centers are promoted by Government of India, and other actors are helping in the big way. I'll stop here, and we'll continue with the discussion, and we'll be having some more startups. Kaushik, already some startups are in? Or you are?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Can you just repeat the question, sir?
No, some startups are already in. Next presentation is inside.
Yes, sir. We have to check with Yuvraj, sir, once.
Yeah, I check. Yuvraj, are you there?
He's joining 2 minutes. Yes, I'm here, sir.
Okay.
He's joining in 2 minutes.
Any questions means I will take it up. Sir, for some, okay. Yuvraj, somebody, Madam Madhu Sumita Misra, unable to put the message to everyone. All the participants can put message to everyone, is it not?
No, sir.
Yuvraj?
Participants cannot chat with participants, sir. They can only chat with the presenter and the host, sir.
Okay, can you enable, let them chat? What is there? Okay. Can you enable to everyone? Let them put for everyone, no issues, yeah. Because somebody may be putting the good points as their experience they might be sharing in the chat box. Let them others also know. No? Kindly enable, let them put for everyone, no issues, yeah.
Yes, sir. They can keep the chat for everyone, sir.
Okay. Somebody asked, what is the success rate of agri startup in India? Harmit Kar. Actually, I don't think so. We are calculating something agri startups success rate, but generally they will tell many of the startups they will start and they will disappear like that. But it is depends on the situation, context, and what type of startup they are starting, and also how startup really they are having the perseverance. And for example, RKV Raptar, we are promoting across the country, some 1,000 startups every year we are training. For example, there are 29 centers. We can keep it roughly 30 RKV Raptar incubation centers. Every year they are training at least 120 of them. That means you can see 120 into 30 they are training. You can see there are something like 3,600 people we are training across the country. And we are talking about what are the opportunities, how they can make, and who are the agri startups like that. Out of these startups, there may be something 1/3 of them, they will be getting the funding actually. At least, for example, Manage trains every year something like 120 startups. And out of 120 startups, at least 40 startups, surely they will be getting the funding based on their competence, based on their merit, they will get the funding. At least 40 of them getting, that means 1/3 of them getting the funding, 33% of them getting the funding from one source, Government of India alone, Ministry of Agriculture alone. Apart from that, there are large number of other organizations, institutions, and even including NABARD, DST, DBT, many of them they are funding. And also there are a lot of other people, there are private players, somebody shows really there is a business opportunities. There are large number of people are willing to fund. Many of them want to partner with this type of startups. They are bringing their money, they are trying to invest. That's why a lot of opportunities, and it is not to worry about success rate, and better to encourage the agri startups, because maybe India agri startups have the great potential. If really they address the problem of the farmers, they have the great potential. If some startups are not really working well, it's not necessarily because of no support. The idea may not really working for the farmers. If really they discuss with the farmers, they are working for the farmers' common problem, then surely the agri startup will survive, and they will get the support from a large number of players, like all the public sector, private sector, many of them trying to help these type of agri startups. And that's why it is a time today everybody talks about agri startups. The Government of India's many of the schemes and all the programs, it gives a lot of importance for the agri startups. They are supporting in the big way. That's why it is a time for agripreneurs or agri startups. They can work and they can do a better job in the agriculture. That's what somebody asked Virendra Patel, student कैसे startup कर सकता है? That's what this I was talking about. He's asking how students can start the agri startups. That's what I am talking about, this RKV Raptar program. Anybody can come with the idea. If idea is innovative and it is selected, they will be given 2 months mentorship. And once after the mentorship, they will be evaluated. The idea is shaped up, and they can go. They can get the 5 lakh grants. Grant means it is not the loan. They no need to repay at all. They will get the grants, and they can, from that 5 lakhs grants, they can ground their ideas and they can work for their idea. After 2 years, if they are successful, again they can come back for 25 lakhs grants also. Otherwise, they can go for other places. All the students and everybody is eligible for getting the grants in the RKV Raptar program, other program also. I hope I am audible for all. Alok, I am fine. No, I am audible. No, one of them told, some Kumar Sahu told, clearly not audible. Are you getting voice clearly? No? Okay. Maybe kindly check somebody not getting voice. So you can check with your own system and you can make it more. Okay. Some more questions. Yeah, there are a large number of horticulture related startups also. We will talk about horticulture related startup. For example, we have one startup and he works on good horticulture practices in only in mango. Mango crop he is working, and similarly large number of horticulture nursery related startups, other thing. Even Indian Institute of Horticulture, they host large number of horticulture related startups also. There are even processing, other related large number of horticulture startups. For example, Kerala Agriculture University putting something banana or something like jackfruit, all related. There are food tech startups are coming in the horticulture produce, and they are trying to export. Large number of startups are there. And horticulture startup also, it has everywhere it is horticulture startups in all the areas. They are trying to make it is there. And we will try to put little more information horticulture related also. We can connect with horticultural IAHR and others. Dr. Puspa from College of Horticulture, they asked, Kausik or Alok, you can note down this point. We can give little more information about horticulture related startups. We can direct the information. We can give little more information related to horticulture startups. Kausik, you can note down. We can try to connect with maybe Indian Institute of Horticulture Research, others, those who are having more horticulture related startups.
In AOP too, he was working with Mango, sir. Banganpalli
No,
Mango,
there are
Green
many other
Market
startups. Anyway, I am telling only one startup. There are many other
Okay.
startups are there, and we can give the little more this one. Like TNAU, they
Sure.
have something, and Kerala Agriculture University, all others. No, we can tell related to horticulture. Okay.
Yes, sir. There are many people working on value addition, supply chain management in vegetable and fruit, sir. We'll
Vegetable
definitely
fruits,
connect
right?
with
Yeah.
them, sir.
No,
Supply
we
chain
can
management
do.
certificate.
We
Yes,
can do
please,
that.
sir.
We can some of the startups we can their own websites we can give, and quickly we can give the link to them so that they can go through, because Dr. Madam Puspa is coming from the horticulture university. She will be having the special interest on that. Kindly whatever that farm press, other things, Amara Sadi, another one more startup we had from Bangalore, like those startups horticulture related, their contact details, their website, if it is available, kindly we can give. Maybe positively tomorrow, if it is possible, better to share with Dr. Puspa. And also you can put it in the group. Others also maybe easy to get, and they can also go through. Many of the startups are having their own startups or social media groups. We will try to share those startups also. Dr. Puspa, madam, we will share horticulture related startups, and you will get tomorrow, and if you are not getting, you can tell us. We will see that you are getting the information. Somebody asked, many agri graduates don't want to farmer or involved in agri related activity. Can give you reliable. No, it is not necessarily agri graduates need to be the farmer. If somebody interested, they let them scientists or let them agriculture officers, that's fine. Today, if you see large number of successful agri startups or agri entrepreneurs, they are coming from other streams, from IITs, IIMs, or engineering colleges, or even diploma holders. That's why if somebody has the interest, let them start the enterprise, because once they are starting enterprise, they need to have the passion and enthusiasm to something. Otherwise, it is not necessarily only agriculture graduates need to start the business. And if you are doing is fine, somebody can do better. Otherwise, others will come. Maybe coming days, agriculture may be the one of the important sector, because globally, every 8th startup is coming from India. Large number of opportunities, lot of scope is there in Indian agriculture. And because there are millions of farmers to be supported, and we need to feed large number of global population, agriculture sector has the great scope. If whomever likes, let them come. Agriculture graduates not want to be agripreneurs, that's fine, because many of the agriculture graduates teaching, it is not for the entrepreneurship we are teaching. We are teaching for getting the job actually in the agriculture universities. Once the mindset changes from the universities, we teach more on entrepreneurship related opportunities, then they slowly they will change. It takes some more time. And some more question on startups nowadays concentrate mainly on end product and soon, but not production related. Yeah, that's right. Some extent, many of them go for 60% of our agri startups goes for the supply chain management, because they are the business people. They want to see where they can make the business, where they can make the profit. That's fine. At least let them make end products become better, because farmers alone or farmer producer organization alone, they are unable to process all the value or brand it or sell it. Majority of them concentrating on this area where it is not much attended by the farmers and other stakeholders, then it is fine, absolutely fine. Wherever there is opportunity, let them do it, because agri startups, they need to do the business, they need to survey, and that's fine actually. Yeah, somebody told Harmit that ANOIL land scheme or even this RAVE program, all are there to give the experience to the students. Even it's a ANOIL scheme, it is there last maybe 20, 30 years, it is there in agriculture. Even when I was studying BS Agriculture, I also undergone ANOIL scheme. While you learn course, it is available. While learning the BS Agriculture, there is a course for 1 month or 2 months, and we start some enterprise or economic activity, nursery, something like that, coconut nursery like that we had, and we earned. This program across the country, many universities are there, but still the entrepreneurship spirit or mindset need to come from students' own. It may not be taught actually. They need to have their own mindset. They need to have their own dream or enthusiasm for starting agri enterprise, then it will be fine. Yeah. That's fine. And Yuvraj, can you take forward first? Who is going to talk next session? They are in.
Sure, sir. Yes, sir. Is already in, sir. Mr.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much for all the participants. Kindly. And thank you very much for all the participants. We will be bringing next participants. As you know, this online training program, there may be sometime you face the difficulty in network, other issues. Kindly bear with the resource persons, even some of the participants you may not be getting, and it may be sometime frustrating to connect and other things. Kindly bear with us and also bear with your own network and try to participate as much as possible. And kindly note that these are all the those who are coming and going to talk with you. They are not the expert in the particular area. They are not the resource persons or scientists. They are startups. Kindly, they are very specific, and kindly ask very specific questions. Many times, I afraid these agricultural officers or scientists or SMS, those who attend the training, they will ask very technical question only. They will ask, what is the spacing? Why new varieties are not adopted? Like that, no, they will go more of technology oriented. Kindly avoid those questions. How really they are making their business better and how they are supporting the farmer, like that, you can ask very specific to that startup. Anything common questions are little more broader or something questions, kindly you can direct to us. Our own team continuously will be there, and you can direct to us and we will try to answer your questions. And because these startups may be working with very specific objective with just a considerable number of farmers, and that's why kindly when you are putting the questions, kindly take a caution and put the questions for them. And
Kaushik, can you make him presenter?
Mr. Vijay is the presenter right now.
Okay. Vijay sir, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Vijay, can you
Okay,
unmute yourself? I'm not unable to see where you are.
Can you please switch on your video? Probably you can share your presentation, sir.
Okay.
We can see
Okay,
it.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you, sir. We can
Okay.
hear you, but probably you could.
Somebody
trying
can
to see the
introduce. So
video,
Vijay, Yuvraj, can you introduce?
Sure, sir. So good morning, everyone. This is Yuvraju, business manager with the Managed Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship. We have here Mr. Vijay Kumar Mani from iSupport Farming, a very innovative startup doing working on the field directly with the farmers. So iSupport Farming is started by Mani brothers, Vijay Kumar Mani and Vasant Kumar Mani, based out of Tamil Nadu. They're already working directly with 250 plus farmers in 650 acres. During integrated farming, they're covering end-to-end services starting from agri input, credit for agri input, farm mechanization, advisory services, and they're also helping in procurement, and they're giving a very good profit margin to farmers. We're happy to introduce them that they're part of our RKVY Raftar family. They're a startup incubated at Managed Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship. With this note, I request Vijay sir to start his presentation.
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful introduction. So I'll just share the screen, okay, and Praveen, I'll tell you, what instead of saying what exactly we do, right? So I'll give you all the background of how the overall industry works, right? The agriculture industry, works, and what kind of service we do, and also what kind of service or products either government officials or the students can take up, right? So I think you can see the screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So just like Yuvraj has said, my name is Vijay Kumar, right, and I'm from a company called iSupport Farming. So we work with the vision of bringing smiles in farmers' lives, right? So, and we have a tagline of "You can be a farmer too," right? So before getting into what exactly we do, so I'll just tell you the actual in the agriculture industry. Right? So I'm sure you know more than 60% of the farmers are small and marginal, right? So which means they just own less than 2 acres of land, right? And almost all the farmers, apart from their agriculture, they also do other farming like rearing cows or uh, goat rearing, and even some people have poultry and also have aquaculture, right? So these are the different kinds of farming activities farmers do. And again, as a company, we also help these farmers, various farmers like crop farmers, horticulture, poultry, and aqua farmers as well. So these are the different farmers whom we work with. And as a farming industry, these are the different farmers are there. But still, if you look at, don't we see all these pictures often where people or the farmers and dumping their producers on the road? Because I'm sure they have a lot of problems, right? So, but one thing what we usually saw is they don't get a better price for their produce, right? Because if you look at we the farmers they sell the produce for let's say a brinjal or a lady's finger, right? So they usually buy it or sell it for let's say 8 rupees, right? And it goes to 3 or 4 hands. And when we as a consumer we buy it for let's say 25 to 30 rupees, right? So where the farmer sells at 6 to 8 rupees and we buy it for from 25 to 30 rupees. So a huge jump in terms of the margin, right? And apart from that, if you look at the farmers, that's not the only challenge what they have, right? If you look at the entire the value chain, it's a complete. We call it as a broken market linkage, right? So where the farmers get very low margin, and also if you go a couple of steps back on the production itself, they have challenges, right? Where they have a high input cost and the productivity is very low, and they don't get the working capital to produce, right? So, and because of all these, as a consumer, we end up paying high price for our for the for the producers, and we also don't get the better quality of the producers as well, and the freshness of the producers is completely lost because it in case of a farmer harvest today, right? It goes to 3 or 4 layers, and we get the produce after a couple of days to our home, right? So that is again the freshness of producers is completely lost, and the company, the traceability of food is completely lost because we if I'm eating let's say a brinjal or a lady's finger today, I don't know where that that vegetable is grown, right? So there's completely no traceability of food. Even so, for that matter, even for a meat, chicken or poultry, we don't know where the chicken is grown or which farm the chicken is grown, or what all inputs have gone in for that chicken or for the crops, right? So what are the different activities which we can do, or which we can do for the farmers, right? First, we can as an entrepreneur, if you look at for different value chain, if you look at, we can provide the working capital, and we can also give them input supplies, and give them technical advice. Mechanization is a challenge, and also market linkage. So these are the different avenues where we can help them, and that's as a company we are working with the farmers in all these areas actually, right? So just going back to what we started, so I'll just give you a background of what the actual agri value chain is, where tracking the produce right from the production, or even before that, right from input supplies to the end consumer, right? So this is the actual agri value chain which we usually say in the agri industry, right? So where farmers require working capital, and also they require input supplies and support in terms of production, harvest, and also after harvest and post harvest and processing, and also they require help in terms of the market linkage, right? So these are the different things, and who are the value chain players who are there? So first, all the input supplies, input companies, and the banks and NBFCs who give the inputs and the working capital, and the farmers, actual farmers who are actually doing the production. And we have the traders, so who procure the materials from the farmers and sell it to the direct consumers or the food companies. And we also have food companies who procure again from the either from the traders or from the farmers, and they process it and sell it to the retailers, right? And again, we have retailers who sell it to the consumers. So these are the different value chain players whom we have. And as a startup, if you look at as a entrepreneur, you can choose any of these areas where you can start. Either you can give input supplies to the farmers, or give working capital by partnering with banks or NBFCs. And again, for the farmers, again, they are the actual production people, right? They who produce the food. And as an entrepreneur, you can start a trading platform, or we can have or we can procure material from the farmers and sell it to the B2B companies or the hotels and restaurants. And we also we can also have a post-production companies, right? So that's again an opportunity which we have, right? So again, let's break down into each of these, right? Let's say the input supplies, right? Typically, what happens in with the farmer, right? If you look at it's in case of there is a pest attack, or in case of there is a pest attack, what the farmer usually does is he usually picks up the. I'm sure you would know, right? He picks up the let's say a paddy crop, and he takes it to the local fertilizer shop, right? And he shows the crop to the person who's there at the fertilizer company, right? So what they usually do is the salesperson, they usually give the medicine, which could be if you look at if let's say if the crop turns yellow, right? I'm sure it could be either nutrient deficiency or a pest attack or something else, right? But what the person at the sales staff does is he gives 3 different medicines for one let's say a pest attack, right? So there again, for the farmers, they lack technical knowledge, right? So we can have a platform, or we can do an extension work where we help the farmers in terms of giving them the right information about what to do, how to do, and what not to do, right? And also in terms of let's say seeds and the planting materials, right? So there again, input supplies are at high cost, all right? So again, we have an opportunity there where we can have research in terms of new and improved types of seeds. Of course, there are a lot of seed companies who are already doing the research work, but still we do have an opportunity to start in terms of new hybrid seeds and other things. And also, one of the main issues for the farmers is the mechanization and the farm equipment, right? Because since most of the farmers are small and marginal, right, they don't get or they're not affordable to get the machineries and the farm equipments, right? So there again, we see a huge opportunity for the entrepreneurs, where we can start a machinery rentals, where we can rent out machineries to the farmers, right? Where instead of buying for the farmers, since they have only less than 2 acres of land, right, 2 or 3 acres of land, so buying a tractor or a tiller, it will not be affordable to them, right? So what we can do is we can buy, or we can rent it, or we can enter into partnership with the big input companies or the machinery companies, and we can rent it to them. So as a company, at iSupport Farming, we also do all these different works, working with the farmers. And again, in the production side, so again, there is an opportunity to provide them technical support, as in what to do, what not to do, and again, introducing new technologies. Let's say we we recently implemented GIS-based, satellite-based crop monitoring system, where instead of let's say we look at the crop, right, and if there is a pest attack, we get to know only when the crop turns completely into yellow, right? But during this, when we use this satellite-based imaging system, it can analyze the crop well at least 10 or 12 days before the crop actually turns yellow, right? So there again, we have an opportunity to start we have an opportunity for entrepreneurs to start in the production itself, right? And again, the supply chain, that's again a huge challenge for the farmers, because after all these harvests or production of 3 or 4 months, right, getting that produced to the market, that is a huge challenge for them, right? So that's where we have again there's an opportunity for post-harvest support, where we give them the technical advice in terms of what are the products available and what are the sales avenues which they can give it, they can sell their produce to, right? So just like instead of selling the produce directly to traders, local traders, what we can do is we can instead of traders, we can sell it to the bulk buyers or the hotels directly, or even to the consumers, right? So again, there is again business opportunity for the people to sell the produce directly to the consumers. And again, as a government official, we also you can also have various avenues where can help the farmers in terms of giving them the technical advices, in terms of giving them the sales avenues, where to sell the produce and what are the different options to choose and other things. And again, the cold storage, that is one of the upcoming areas which we are seeing, right? Cold storage and of course the processing, because there again, if a farmer harvests today, at least they need to sell it max within a couple of days, right? So there again, we have a huge opportunity for cold storages. And as a government, if we look at what we can look at is giving the farmers the subsidies, or giving them technical support. And there again, we have a huge opportunity for processing, because if you look at let's say just paddy, right? 1 acre, farmer usually gets around 30 or 35 bags of rice. 30 bags of paddy, which is roughly around 2.5 to 3 tons of the quantity which they get, right? So to process that and mill it and sell it to the end consumers or the bulk buyers, so we need a huge infrastructure, right? So there again, we have a huge opportunity to sell, right? And again, on the supply chain and transportation, that is again a huge thing, because like I said, all the farmers here, they sell it either to the traders or they sell it in the local market, right? So there's again an opportunity where people can start an e-commerce platform to sell the produce of the farmers. And also we have we can collate the farmers, or have a pool of farmers, collect their produces and sell it to the bulk buyers, right? So as a company, if you look at at iSupport Farming, we do all these things, right? So where we work with the farmers, right from giving them the input supplies, working capital, and help them in production, productivity, increase the productivity, and we also help them in selling the produce actually, right? So these are the various activities which we are doing, and of course there are different avenues where there are a lot of business opportunities which people can do, right? So to be honest, this is a brief thing which we have, which have done. So probably in case of if you have any questions, we'll be happy to take questions.
Yeah, if any questions, you can put in the chat box also. Yeah, Vijay,
Thank
I
you.
put one question. How you are working with alone, or you work with other departments or other, because agriculture, large number of agriculture developmental departments are, many are working in agriculture. Maybe the farmers
Right.
you are concentrating, they also might be working with KVKs and others. How you
Right.
work with others also? Any idea? You can put it, yeah, if anything experience.
Okay. Right. So how we work with the farmer as a company, right? At iSupport Farming, we since agriculture is again, as a vast area, right? We can't, have people on the ground working with the farmers, right? So what we do is we have, different options to onboard the farmers or get the farmers or work with the farmers. So one, we work with the government officials, like the local agri departments, right? Let's say, we are working in Kadalur and Vilpuram, right, in Tamil Nadu. So again, we work, closely with the agri department, the local agri departments, and also we work with the NGOs, right? NGOs and FPOs to have, different various farmers under them, right? So we work, with FPOs and NGOs, and of course, we also have, tied up with the local input companies, right? The input suppliers, where we work with them. So these are the various, ways we onboard the farmers actually, where we work with them, because we can't go to the field, everyone's field, and then we convince the farmers, right? So that's why, we have strategic partners for, where, we work with them actually.
A little more specific, who are your strategic, because you are working with only few hundreds of farmers, 250 or some farmers. Who are your strategic partners? If you can you clearly tell, and what is the role they are doing? That will be good actually, if you are telling how they are doing it.
Right. So if you look at them, we are working with around 2,000 plus farmers right now. Okay, 2,000
Okay,
plus farmers.
2,000 plus. Okay.
2,000 plus across Tamil Nadu. Okay. So if you look at, on the FPO part, so we enter into a contract or partnership with them, where they will source the farmers, of their from their list, and we will give them all the support required, the end-to-end support. So right from giving them the working capital to the market linkage, right? And again, for the government officials, if you look at, we work with the local agri departments, where again, we get the list of, farmers who, who are listed under them, and we partner with them.
Okay, there is one interesting question from Madam Madhusumita Misra.
Yes.
Are you working in individual farming mode or community farming mode? What is two questions? Whether you are working individual farmer to farmer, or you are making as a community, as a group you are working, or like that she is asking.
Okay. So right now, if you look at, we are working with the individual farmers, right? But individual farmers, but still, if you take a village, right? So we would have at least, 10 or 15 farmers to start operations in that village, right? So even though our interaction will be one-to-one with the farmer, but collectively to start an operations, we usually work with at least 10 to 15 farmers in that village actually.
Okay, you make it a little more group, like something small group, and work with them. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, another question. What is your linkages with input suppliers? How you are linking with them? How you get the benefit from them? And farmers also, how they will get the benefit? Whether you supplying something quality inputs, less price, or how it works? Yeah.
Okay. So on the input supplies, if you look at, we have, tied up with, companies like Vighad, and companies like, directly with Bayer and other companies, right? So where, we get it at a very subsidized rate, right? For first thing first, we get the inputs at a very, low price, right? At a subsidized rate. So just to give you a background, last year, we did the maize crop, right? In Nagarjunagar, right? So there again, we were able to bring down the input cost or the seed cost to almost 40 of 45% of the actual the cost, right? So when we directly buy directly from the wholesalers or from the big companies, right? So there, which is again directly passed on to the farmer, right? So that is one, and again, we give them the inputs, as in all the inputs.
Okay. Okay. But it is a 30 or 40%. It's a huge, is it not? It is very much. It is.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Because if you look at, yeah, if we go and if we actually we are tying up with directly with the producers and the bulk buyers who are actually getting it at a very subsidized rate.
Okay. Okay. Another question from Mr. Ravi Parmar. Whether you face any problem initially, you are going to farmers and trying to convince them, but how they really see, because you maybe they see as an outsider, first time you are going,
Right.
farmers are doing so many years. How you convince the farmers to join with you?
Yes, that is one issue which we faced initially when we started this. Right, actually we started this operations in 2016. Right, so initially when we went and spoke to the farmers, they were a little skeptical. Why should you come and help us? So whether they were checking whether are we coming to grab their lands, or are we coming there to evade taxes, or a lot of things which they were skeptical about, right? That's when what we thought was every village will have a lead farmer, right? Lead and a big farmers, so who will have a big a good name in the village, right? So what we did was we went in and convinced that big farmer, someone who has good knowledge, a technical knowledge and other things, right? And we did good work for a couple of seasons, and he started convincing the farmers in the village, right? So that is one approach which we had initially. That's called a lead farmer approach, which we had. So that's why we started getting more farmers.
Okay, that's what. Another question is also same line. How you are winning the farmers' confidence? Anyway, fine. The same questions. Anyway, you answered already. Good. You went through lead farmer approach or big farmers, those who are having voice in the village. Right. Those type of farmers you identified, right? And do you have any linkage with livestock sector and livestock related inputs also used to supply, or how it is? There is another question from Dr. Manas Ranjan, Senapati. Yeah. Anything yes, livestock sector you are doing? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, like I said, we work with different farmers, right? So one crop farmer, and again with poultry farmers and aquaculture. Okay. So we work with all these farmers. So again, for poultry, again we have we give all the inputs in terms of working capital. Again, the inputs and other things. Let's say, for poultry farmers, we give them the seeds, feed and chicks and other things we supply to them.
And another interesting question again, Madam Madhusumita Misra, what about other field problems? You are giving some set of services like disease, pest control, farm machinery, and like other services also farmers needed. How you are really making it, those type of things?
Okay, so can you a little bit elaborate on other services?
Yeah, because farmers need so many other things, like you are giving some of the input, other services, cold storage or other processing, but farmers need more, like crop pest and disease advisory or something like machinery they want. Whether you have some support system or yourself you are doing for this, how it is?
Okay, so now we are doing is we are working with we have our team, right? So we have agriculture graduates on board, right? So currently we're a 15 or 18 member team. So almost everyone is from the agriculture background, right? Either being an agri graduate, agri engineer, or being farmers ourselves, right? So we have different teams which gives advisory to the farmers. So it's based on the need. Yeah, based on the need, we give them the advices.
And it's also this team.
Go on.
You told team, I'm sorry, in between I was talking, I'm sorry.
Yes,
you told there is a team, whether the team regularly visits and takes care of crop stages and monitors themselves, or only farmer need to report back, then only you will responsive. How it is? You take your team, take it up whenever there is a problem, their own, they will go and they will do it.
Right. So there again, we have the teams, almost everyone is on the field, right? Here, the head office again, we have the sales office, but again, apart from the head office, we also have around 4 different field offices, right? So where the operations team are based out of, and their job is to go to the field daily, at least once in 2 days, visit the farm, and to manage the farmers, right? So That's all.
For covering this number of 2,000 plus farmers, how many team members are there? Agri graduates, how many of them are working?
Currently we have around 18 people right now.
18, 18.
18, yeah.
Okay. Anything you try to select only this type of farmers, or any farmers you select? You have anything like some criteria to select the farmers, or you select any farmer?
No, to be honest, no, we don't select all the farmers because we do get a lot of inquiries from the farmers, right? So just like how we have CIBIL score, right? Every individual has CIBIL score, right? So we have something called a farmer score, right? So where we will evaluate the farmer on we have a checklist where we will evaluate them. Right? So right from their financial background, their land parameters, how socially the farmer is, how is the name in the village, right? And so whether he has any references of the current existing farmers and other things. So we do a complete background check, and then only when the farmer score is more than 75 or 80%, we onboard them, right?
Okay.
So
you see, you see some potential farmers. They can they won't default, and they are getting your inputs. Other thing also, they will be easily repaying, or whatever credit they will take also they can pay. Only those type of farmers you put. And because you are going newly to village, how you really get this farmers score? You ask some other farmers, or how you really get? It's very difficult task, no? Getting about farmer and their own. Yeah, how you get it that one really?
So first we do again. Here is where we work with the local agri the departments, right?
Okay.
So and again, since our the team is from the agriculture background, right? So we will have their friends and friends working in the agri departments, right?
Okay.
So there again, we get the details from the agri departments, and also we get the details from the banks and other things.
Okay. Okay, good. And anyway, you are working with 2,000 plus farmers, and any idea how earlier, before you are reaching to them, how they are earning, and now how the income and other thing increase, and what are the things anything you see, at least if not very great data or something, but at least you might be seen, visualized. What improvement you made in the farm or farm activities or production, whatever may be? Can you in general, can you talk what are the improvement you really brought among these 2,000 farmers like that?
Right. So first thing, like as mentioned, we work with the farmers in the entire value chain, right? So right from giving them the working capital to selling the produce, right? So first, we are able to bring down the production cost at least by 15% to 20%, right? Since we are now selling or buying the inputs at a subsidized rate, so we are able to bring down the production costs at least by 15 to 20%, right? And also at the end of the spectrum on the market linkage, since we are selling it for the directly to the bulk buyers and the hotels and restaurants, so there again we're able to get a good margin for the farmers, at least 10% margin there. So that's where we work with farmers.
You are on mute, sir. Sharon, sir, you are on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, and again, on another interesting question, Madam Madhusumita Misra, you told about you are taking care of everything, marketing, produce, and everything. And if suppose crop faces failure, or there is a stress, drought, something, more pest infestation happens, how you support the farmer, or how you face that challenge?
Okay, right. So to be honest, we completely de-risk the farmers in terms of the working capital. Since we are giving them the working capital, right? So we take the risk of the loss and other things, right? So in case because last year we had a loss, right, for the farmers, right? Let's say we had around around 15 acres of land which we did, and again because of last two rains. Last two rains, the crop completely got lost, right? So there again, we didn't ask the farmers for any compensation or nothing. So what we do, we completely de-risk the farmers, right? In case if there is a loss, it is a loss and we bear the loss. And in case of there is a profit, we share the profit with the farmers actually.
But interesting, when farmer faces risk and you de-risk them, everything you are facing. But agriculture again is a difficult. How far you can go like that? How you are courageous to do like that? Because what happens? This is continuously it happens. But farmers also knows if there is a risk and he may not give more care to tomorrow after 2-3 seasons. He may not taking care because it goes lost. It is anyway Vijay will take care like that. No, if they are not giving more attention, how you will do? It is
right. So that's the that's true. That's that's the work which our team has to have. Right. So that is the work which our team where they need to monitor the operations and make the farmer work. Right. Because here the farmers they own the land and they do the work. Right. So and it's our duty as a company, we make sure he does the work properly. And with the proper, technical support and the quality inputs and other things.
Okay. Yeah. So good. Anything related to agriculture insurance? Something you do it? They will insure with insurance, other things.
Yes, actually, we don't. We also have crop insurance, but to be honest, getting that insurance it's a huge process which is involved, right? So that is there, but again, as of now, we don't have any insurance for the farmers. Right? In case of there is a crop loss, or in case of government announces compensation for the flood or drought, that will be again we can claim it. That's how.
Okay. Okay. This seems to be it's a very sometimes even it may be very risky model also, but at the same time you want to scale up your model. And what is your plans for future? How you will scale up? You want to go from 2,000 plus to maybe more farmers you want to reach, and what is your future plans? How you want to proceed further?
Okay. So currently, if you look at we are operating only in Tamil Nadu right now. Okay. So this year we're looking at expanding this to Karnataka and Andhra, right? And of course Telangana. So probably next couple of years, we are looking at expanding this to across the nation, right? So from 2000 by 2024, we're looking at at least 10,000 farmers is what the plan is.
No, you are working with farmers now. You might be feeling something. You have the strength and some hope also you might be having. What encourages you to move forward again? What are the good things you see in the agriculture, and what is see the potential? How it is agriculture? What is the potential you see in agriculture?
Right. So the potential, if you look at since the population is growing and everyone has to have food three times a day, right? So again, the crop production will also increase in the next next 4 or 5 years, right? So that's where we see, because since the population is increasing, the production will also increase, right? And again, involvement of new technology and reducing the input cost and other things will be directly benefited to the farmer, right? So that is one thing which we see.
Okay. Any you want to have any better partnership with agriculture department? Because if you see today there are 120 plus agriculture senior officers are there. Probably maybe where you are working, which part of Tamil Nadu you are working?
Currently we're in around 7 districts of Tamil Nadu. Kadalur,
which are the districts?
Kadalur, Viluppuram, Viluppuram, Thiruvarur, Thanjavur. Then we have in Kodaikanal.
Okay, there are few officers from these states also, and maybe we will share your contact details, everything, and also you can get. You need any better support from the government departments, or how you want to work with developmental departments, because they are traditional players. So many years they are working. Because a lot of government schemes, other things, better you can leverage to your own farmers, and how you want to work with the government departments.
Okay, so government departments again, first thing, again, in case if we can get the better seeds directly from the research institutions, that is one thing which we can look at, and also on the seed production, again, we can work directly with the government officials, right? And again on the on selling the produce, again, selling the produce in case if we have the trader list and other things, we can work with them. Because since
thank you. Yeah, please go ahead. Something you are some more.
No, saying,
please go ahead.
Since we are working with the farmers in the entire value chain, right? So the involvement of government will also always be there in the entire value chain, right? So that's what I wanted to emphasize.
Okay, thank you very much, and it is very nice to interact with you. And we, on behalf of Manage, we wish you for your growth, and you support large number of farmers, and also I support farming. Your the startup name itself very interesting, very encouraging. I support farming. And thank you very much for joining with us today and talking about your own startup and how you are supporting. That's what agriculture extension, that's what we also Manage feel. It is not only giving this something like technology or advisory, it is something entire value chain, entire support we need to give so that the farmers really get. But we appreciate your model of de-risking farmer and try to share the profit, and also whenever there is a risk and you are compensating with your own other revenue avenues like input, other things, and also reducing the input cost. That may be another interesting thing. And thank you very much for, and I am of large number of, there are extension professionals across the country, they are there. They may appreciate your own efforts, and on behalf of all of our participants, we wish you all the best. Thank you very much, Vijay, for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.